Star Wars Outlaws is in trouble, and in this video, we're going to go over why. So, as if Star Wars Outlaws didn't already have enough controversy surrounding it, but an announcement has come out in the last 24 hours, leaving people who pre-ordered the Gold and Ultimate Edition on PS5 absolutely furious. Now, Star Wars Outlaws has been ripped to shreds for a number of things, from the main character not being customizable in an open world game, to some of the game's visual effects being really bad, and much, much more. Heck, even I had my own problems with Star Wars Outlaws, as I discussed in my full review video, which you guys can see up here. But the issue that players are having today is worse than anything in the game currently. Now, I'm going to read you guys an excerpt from Games Radar, who reported on this issue earlier today. The article read that on August 27th, our teams identified an issue where some PS5 players were playing on a previous version of the game. We quickly deployed an update and informed affected players to ensure their game was updated to the latest version, and advised that they begin a new save to avoid additional issues and progression blockers. We followed up with the affected PS5 players today to inform them that we've provided them an in-game Trailblazer trinket, as well as 100 Ubisoft Connect credits to make their return to the Outer Rim a little more special. The original story stated that it is now available for players who spent the extra cash on the fancy edition with early access, but the most eager of those players on PS5 are obviously facing the threat of game-breaking progression issues following the patch that rolled out shortly after launch. Now, the official release date of Star Wars Outlaws is August 30th, but if you spend 110 on the Gold or 130 on the Ultimate Edition, you get the 3 days of early access. On PS5, early access began at midnight on the 27th in your local time, and players report that a patch updating the game to the newest version rolled out a few hours after that launch. Now, there is a bit to unpack here, so bear with me. If you didn't get the gist of what's going on here, basically anyone that paid extra money to buy the Gold or Ultimate Edition of Star Wars Outlaws on PS5 got 3 days of early access to the game. After the game launched, an update came out telling players to begin a new save, and I'm sorry, but if you've already sunk a bunch of hours into a game just to be told to start over, I would be furious too, and believe it or not, that's exactly why I'm making this video. Now, some of us work full-time jobs, myself included. I actually do work a full-time job outside of YouTube, and some of us only have very limited time to play these games during the day, so to go in and not see this update or not get a notification of this being posted, or maybe you just aren't up to date with everything that's going on in the video games that you play, you probably didn't even see this message being told to back up your save data into a cloud save. I personally didn't see it, so I had no idea it was going on, otherwise I would have done it, and now they've come out saying that this update is going to affect your save files. Now, I got early access to Star Wars Outlaws. I actually got it a week early, luckily enough for me. But that also means that I've now sunk 30 hours into my save file on Star Wars Outlaws already. And yep, you guys guessed it, I've been playing on PS5. Now, I've been called a shill more times than I can count by brain-dead people on the internet, but I stand by the fact that any praise or critique that I give to a video game is fair and what I truly believe about that game. It's funny, I gave Star Wars Outlaws a 7.5 out of 10 in my review and criticized multiple parts of the game, and was still told that my opinion was biased and paid for in the comments section, which is absolutely ridiculous. Those brain-dead people aside, I will always report on what I believe, and in this case, it's that this isn't good enough. The fact that I sit here 25 to 30 hours deep into a game, working on the Platinum Trophy, afraid now to even log into the game because I'm worried about having to start over, is ridiculous. And what do we get in return for our lost progress? A Trailblazer trinket, which is absolutely useless in the game, and some Ubisoft Connect points that I probably will never use, because the only PC games that I will play on Ubisoft Connect is the ones that I'm forced to. So this just doesn't seem good enough. Now, I know this scenario is obviously worse for me than most players. Most people would have only had the game for a few hours when the patch deployed, but honestly, if I had played any more than 3 to 4 hours, I would be pissed to lose my save too. Some people, like I mentioned, work a full-time job and only have time to play those games outside of those working hours. Imagine those people that took the day off because they were excited for a new Star Wars game, or they knocked off after a long, hard day of work and were excited to play Outlaws, only to get multiple hours in just to where the world starts to open up and give you the freedom to play and do what you want, only to be cut down and forced to go back and play the intro tutorial missions over again. I think it's safe to say that I won't be starting a new save file, and the only way I will change this is if it affects my trophy hunting progression for the Platinum channel. Now, I'm still going to attempt it. Hopefully it doesn't halt my progress, but if it does, I'm probably going to have to bite the bullet. But again, if I was someone who paid for this game, I would be absolutely fuming. I can't imagine what you guys are feeling if you did get a decent amount of the way into the game and are experiencing this. But I am curious to hear from those of you that did get the gold or the ultimate edition on PS5. Just how far into the game did you guys get before being notified to restart your save file? Again, like I said, I will always be honest about how I feel on video games, and this just isn't good enough. I like Star Wars Outlaws as a game. I think it is a decent amount of fun, but nobody wants to repeat the tutorial mission twice in any game, especially in the first couple of hours of playing. Hopefully this can be rectified in a hot fix soon, but until then, I will be playing on my old save file, bugs and all. Now, with that said, I am going to get out of here. I will leave you guys with this. Let me know down in the comments what you think of all of this drama. I know Star Wars Outlaws has had a ton of critiques in the past, but this is just one more thing that we need to talk about. Hopefully it gets out to the right people over at Ubisoft, and they can obviously rectify this so that I don't have to start a brand new save over again. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.